Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add cup chain to a Nunn design bezel bracelet. Now you can see here that I've actually already started, so I'm just going to show you how to do that last one there on the end. But I have some glass cabochons and I just want to show you sort of the difference in the look, just so you can kind of see. So if you're going for a little bit more of an understated look, that looks very nice, but I wanted to sort of embellish mine with a little bit of that extra chain. So I have a length of chain here, and to go around each of the bezels requires about 3 inches of the cup chain. Now you'll notice that I sort of squished mine together. You could do yours in a little bit more of an open style, or you can smush them together like I'm going to do here so that they sort of line up nice and tight. But if you're counting, you need 3 inches of it stretched out for each bezel, which is about 22 crystals. So to complete the entire bracelet, you'll need 15 inches. Now I'm going to be using E6000, and I have just a little scrap of wire just to help me get that glue onto there. And then you're going to need a pair of flush cutters as well, just to help cut that chain. So very simply, let me sort of set myself up here. I'm just going to take that E6000 and I'm going to place a nice big dollop onto my work surface. There we go. Make sure to close that up, you don't want it to dry. And now, just kind of holding it in my hand, I'm going to take a little bit of glue onto that wire and sort of lay it across and get it right into that little space where the two meet, where that sort of upper cup and lower cup sort of meet. You can kind of be generous with the glue. You'll see that it sort of dries very clear. And now just take that cup chain and start by laying it down. And you're going to want to start squinching it together pretty easily. And just sort of press it down and work your way right around that bezel. Now you'll have a little bit of time to kind of mold it with this particular glue. If you're using a different glue, that may change. But you'll see it does start to hold it pretty quickly, but you can kind of still smush it around a little bit. And I recommend doing this step before you put your cabochon in, just so you can kind of get your finger in there so that you can help yourself with the cup chain. And now you just keep going all the way around the circle, just adding a little bit of glue and just sort of work in sections. And just keep smushing that chain together. You might need to help it out a little bit. There we go. Oops. And it fell off my first half there, so I'm just going to press that back into place. Like I said, you'll have a little bit of time to work with it. There we go. And just keep working it around, making sure it's nice and flush up against that bezel. And I'm going to do my last little part here. Make sure I get that glue all the way around. There we go. And you just kind of got to work with your cup chain here and just make sure it stays nice and in place. And as you come to the end, you'll see where it needs to be cut off. So you just take your flush cutters and just snip that chain off. And then you can kind of go back and make sure those two ends meet up nice and neat. And let me just kind of work my fingers around there, just sort of pressing it in place. There we go. So it takes a little bit of work just to kind of get it going. And once that glue dries, you see I have a little bit of a dollop there. Once it dries, I'll be able to pick that off without messing up the bezel. So if that happens, don't worry, you are right on track, but you do want to let that dry before you start kind of picking at the glue because you might take your cup chain off. So that is how to very simply add that cup chain. And then the next step I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little E6000 and put my little cabochons in there, but I'm going to wait for my last one to dry before I go ahead and do that. So I've gone ahead and just added that little dollop of glue and placed my cabochons in there. I just wanted to sort of skip that step so that you could see the completed bracelet really quick. So this is a very fun and easy project to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can find this and more videos at Beadaholique.com.